Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the Hero Jamaican Coolie, back again with another video, and I want to continue to talk about the verses and the chapters that I was talking about yesterday. I started off by explaining why Yahusha the Mashiach is going to say to you, I never knew you, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. I then also went into a couple of other verses that explains why he's also going to be saying that. Alright, so I want you to turn your Bibles when you get time, because I'm still driving. Once I get to a good stoplight and I get a chance to read it, I want you guys to turn your Bibles to Matthew chapter 25 verse 41, and we're going to read onwards. And the synopsis of that chapter and those verses are this: he has just given the sheep their rewards. He's separating the sheep from the goats, right? He's separating the sheep from the goats. I'm gonna pause a little bit. Alright, so I'm back, and so now that I'm at a stoplight, Matthew 25 verse 41, then shall he also say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. So we're gonna pause from that, right? We don't have to say any more. We don't have to say any more after that. Let's go through it. Let's go through it. Hungry and thirsty, and you were not fed. I spoke about the spiritual aspects of this as well. You have many black people who are hungry and thirsty for the truth of our history, of the true gospel, of the true, just the truth in general. And you have people who have whitewashed, because that's exactly what you did. Whitewash. We're not holding back tongues anymore. You're evil. We're not holding tongues anymore. You understand? We're not being subtle about this anymore. Right? You have people who have whitewashed history. And then when you're showing actual history, they're talking about you're now blackwashing history. You're not blackwashing history. They're so fragile and pathetic. So fragile and pathetic that they can't withstand the truth that they spent years covering up. I don't know if you've ever seen these posts and just the comments below it. They can't go a day without spewing the hatred that they've spewed for so long. But then they're gonna come out and say, I am not a racist. I'm not. I just want things to remain the way they are, the way that I built them, the way that I lied. The world that was attained and built was not attained and built out of fairness. So once they've done all of that dirt and nastiness and disgusting things, they now want everyone to be fair to them that were never fair to anybody they came across. They want everyone to be decent to them, and they've never been decent to anybody that they've come across. That's what their little fragile little egos can't withstand. The fact that we're no longer tiptoeing around you. The fact that we no longer give a shit if you're comfortable or uncomfortable around us. We're going about our daily business. We don't give a damn. Some of you try to talk to us. We shrug you off because we're not here to validate your existence anymore. Because that's what you want. You wanna validate your existence by talking to somebody that you consider your lesser. So, you know, he says, I was hungry and thirsty, you never fed me. There are many people who are hungry and thirsty for the truth, and they are not fed this truth. We're talking about Christianity that has never properly fed the truth to our people. Number one. Number two is also a physical hungry and thirst, and you don't feed the people. Which group of people has always been hungry and always been thirsty, even here in America? Which group of people, which ethnic group of people in the majority has always been hungry and always been thirsty here in America and not fed? All right. He said, naked and you never clothed me, sick and in prison and you never visited and ministered unto me. Let's go with the naked part. When you say naked, when the Most High says naked, the spiritual aspect of that is this, especially with Christianity. A lot of churches love to talk about how they baptize this amount of people and baptize that amount of people and blah 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 blah. But how many people actually remain in the faith? How many people have you made it your duty to continue to disciple so that they can remain in the faith? You see, I talk about this all the time. I used to talk about this when I was very young, way back when YouTube was in its infancy. That time there, Initial D was a famous anime on YouTube. You understand? Initial D. Who remember them days there when it was just like the videos of Initial D on YouTube in its infancy? So anyway, there are many churches who baptize people for the sake of just showing off that they baptize people. We don't know if they even baptize them into the truth. All they do is come out and say how they baptize people, whatever it is. I don't care about that. Nobody cares about this whole baptizing thing alone. You understand? Baptism is important, but you people aren't discipling people, and we don't know if you're even baptizing them into the truth. You understand? I don't want to keep score about how to baptize this amount of people and stuff like that. How many people after being baptized remain in the faith? You let them walk out naked into the world. That is letting them walk out naked. Because most times when people get baptized, they don't understand most of the times what they're baptizing themselves into. They don't understand the walk that is before them. They don't understand the putting on the armor, the importance of putting on the armor from the beginning of walking in that faith. They've been walking naked, deaf, dumb, and blind from day one. I've been baptized with so many people I know turn back. You have people go to Rastafarianism. You have people who just go back to them old ways. You understand? People go back to them old ways and decide say them not follow that faith and them thing there. But you know, and it's a Jamaican, well, I can't say it's a Jamaican thing, But when them meet upon a certain people, them say, you know, I was baptized and stuff like that later on in life. But you never walk the walk. You never talk the talk. You understand? But it's not their fault most times. How can you as a church baptize people and leave them to their own doing? Expect them to just come to church naturally now that they're baptized. You never discipled them. And it angered me so much when I used to see it. When so many of my friends and I, right, got baptized. And I used to just see my friends just stop coming to church. And then when I check them now, when I look at them and I visited them, they just went back to their old ways. You understand? It's as if, you know, like they just baptized them and left them to their own doing. I am glad the Most High put within me something that gravitated towards the Word. I gravitated towards the Word so much that I eventually realized that leaving the church was a more positive thing for me than staying there. Because I said to myself, I don't want to wait every Sunday to hear about God. I want to read the Word and find out for myself. And so I left the church and said that, yo, if I can't read the Word and find out what the Most High is for myself, then I shouldn't be in this faith. And that's what I did. That's why I left the church. And I spent time in the Word. And then I met like-minded individuals. And we had Bible study outside of the church. It's like you start to realize that these things can happen outside of a church. Then you read the scripture verse that says, where two or more are gathered in my name, my presence is there. Which means that two or more is considered a church. Because the church is not a building, it is the people. And a lot of our brothers and sisters are not given that knowledge. Because the church wants to have people rather than have people in the truth. They're always focused on their numbers. Church is always focused on their numbers, and they're focused on the numbers because of who tithing and who giving offerings. That's their focus. That is many churches' focus. You understand? So he says, I was a stranger and ye took me not in. Well, black people came to this land, Hebrew people came to this land as strangers. And it seems that you still living on this land as a stranger. Because you're still not welcomed on this land. Them tell you how much time. Go back to Africa. If you not like what them do, go back to where you come from. So when they're saying that to you, they're treating you like you're a stranger to the land. Like you never bleed for this land. Like your blood was not spilt on the land. Mercilessly. Maliciously. Purposefully. Then spill the blood of your ancestors upon the land. And then look upon you and tell you, say, if you don't like it, go back to where you came from. When they stole you from that land. Unrepentant, unremorseful, unregretful. And they're still acting that way as if nothing can happen to them. As their enemies draw close around them. As their enemies draw close around them. Them still pretend like they are untouchable. I've read so many of these comments. And when you read them, you can tell the heartiness of these people. You can tell the wickedness behind them. That if they had gotten the chance, if them get the chance for build a time machine and go back and do all the evil that their ancestors did, they would go back in time and do it themselves and relish in the moment while doing it. What are you doing, you inferior being? I've come to oppress you. So don't tell me when these people talk about, oh, I got black friends. Oh, I got a black boyfriend. Oh, I got a black girlfriend. Oh, shut the hell up. That does not mean a thing. I've seen too many relationships where this other person believes that they are, like, even when the person looks like crap, even when the person looks like garbage, they look like nobody desperate or drunk would choose them. And they're acting as if they're still above the person that they're with because of their skin color. That's why, like I said before, even though I had my options to be with and to also marry other ethnicities, and also the one that a lot of men from every ethnicity would consider beautiful, I did not do it. I did not do it because I was not compatible with them. And I realized it from early in a couple of the relationships. Because as I've explained before, Jamaican people just different. Them not understand. You understand? Because of the era that we grew up in. We not fully understand. It's a ball of ignorance when we come here. We're a ball of ignorance when we come to America. So we don't understand, you know, what the mindset is of them and what the mindset is of, you know, even American black people. Because the media that is constantly being pushed in Jamaica, whether through our own media networks, the movies, right? Or even YouTube, because a lot of us go on YouTube as well and watch videos and watch movies and, you know, whatever it is. We are being programmed to believe that the people that share the same skin color as us is more dangerous to us than the people who descended from those who put them in bondage and did horrific things to them all the way up until the 1970s. And that's why I said, and I'll say it again, a very good bait and switch psy-op has happened globally between the 1960s all the way up to where we are right now. Because the people that you're supposed to be afraid of, bait and switch it and say, it's not them you're supposed to be afraid of. It's the people that they've been oppressing for years you should be afraid of. Those people are the criminals. Those people are the murderers. Those people are the this. Those people are the that. You understand? Oh, black on black crime is the worst thing. You must be afraid of them. Right? So, that's the biggest bait and switch. The people who have been doing the dirt for so long, all the way up to the 1960s and 70s, are now claiming that for the last 30 to 40 years, that the most problematic person globally, the person that is to be feared globally, or the people that should be feared globally, are black people. Do you understand the message that I'm trying to give to you? after so many years of doing what they've done, with even hanging people by them balls off a tree, hanging people up by them balls off of the tree, cutting a woman's stomach so the baby can fall out and stepping on that baby's head. They turned around and told you and psych up the whole entire world and say that we are not the problem. The problem is the people that we've oppressed and done all these evil things to. We're just trying to live in peace. We don't know why they can't live in peace with us. Black and black crime is the greatest problem facing the black community. Yeah, that's what these people want you to believe. And that's what they peddled to even other black people so that they would not unite with their brothers. That we came down on the same rotted ship as black people in America. We came down on the same rotted ship. And those of us who were extremely problematic, that's why they sent us to the plantations on Jamaica. That's why. Turn on my AC a little bit. I get chilling in the car. So Yahusha goes on to say that in as much as you have done to the least of them, because they asked him, when did we see you hungry, thirsty, naked, in prison and sick? And he said, well, in as much as you have done unto the least of them in society, you've done it unto me. So let me ask you something, people, and it's a very easy question to answer. Very, very easy question to answer. Who are the least people in society? When you think about the least, think about the least of them in society, who comes to mind? Who comes to mind? Who comes to mind when you think about the least of them in society? Sure ain't white. Sure ain't Asian. Sure ain't Hispanic. It's black people. The most mocked, the most everything that's negative painted onto them. Always hungry, always starving, always naked, and always in prison. In as much as you have done unto the least of them, you have done it unto me. And this is why I've told you people many times again, I'm trying to get the message across to you so you can understand it. Why politicians are going to hell? Because they created these laws to lock up black people. They pretend that they're just people, but we know they're not just. They're not even just onto their own people. Black politicians who help to push those laws as well, to lock up black men, you're going to hell as well. You're locking up your own people. You understand? It's not that black people are more driven to commit crimes more than anybody else. The fact is that it's basically a crime to be black, and that's what nobody wants to say. And it's the truth. It is a crime to basically be black. You understand? Who are the biggest homeless people in America? Who are the people who are mostly homeless in America? Again, you're not thinking about Asian, Hispanic, or white, or Caucasian, as they love to say. You're thinking about black people. When you think about the homeless, you think about black people. When you think about starving, you think about black people. When you think about anything negative, when you think about prison, you think about black people. In as much as you have done unto the least of them, you have done it unto me. You have locked up Yahushua. You have starved him. You have many times, kept him at a stranger's reach. You treated him like a stranger on the same land that you brought him over on. And you tell him that if him don't like it, go back home to Africa. Yeah. See, like I said before, a lot of people don't decipher the scriptures. A lot of people think it's a joke. But that's exactly what it's saying. Spiritually and physically. Anyway, people, this is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie. Hope you like the message. Drop a comment below. Hit the like button, share. Peace, enough love and respect. I am out.